Good afternoon, everybody. We're gonna start this. We're gonna start this panel on Soulbound tokens. I'm gonna later come over here and have a quick round of intros. But before we start, by raise of hands, how many of you guys know what is a Soulbound token? Okay, good amount of people. So for those of you that may not know what is a Soulbound token, the easiest way that I try to always explain it is to consider an NFT. How many of you know what is an NFT? It's like everybody, all right? So imagine that it's an NFT that you can't transfer it to anybody else. So it stays in your wallet. That's the easiest way to think about it. I want to pass the mic. We're not sitting as you see in this picture, but I want to pass the mic to the panelists to have a very short intro, and then we take it from there and we go through the questions. Maybe I start here with you, Guillaume.
Yeah,
please.
So thank you and hi everybody. I'm Guillaume from Doors3. I'm the co-founder. We are a consulting company working with a lot of corporate to help them on their Web3 project, especially working on SBT with some engagement programs for corporates such as Armin Paris in the fashion industry or Alpine in the automotive industry. We will talk a bit about that today, so happy to be here with you guys.
Supporting your clients, huh? And you drove an Alpine here?
Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful, right. Beautiful. Bert, please.
Blockchain architect, in 2 words. I have joined Arthera EVM chain this month.
Beautiful. Great having you here. Frank, you had a French version earlier. Now go for an English version.
Yeah, now can I switch to a little bit easier language. Thank you for that. So I'm Frank Poncelet. Most know me as Frank NFT. I'm an engineer. I have about 30 years of experience. I stopped counting somewhere. I still mine Bitcoin in 2010 on my desktop. I stopped doing that when it became ASICs because I didn't want to invest in the hardware. And I returned to the crypto scene, of course, when smart contracts and Ethereum came out because I saw quite a future in there. I'm also pretty notorious in the space, let's be honest about that one. So I'm the creator of the wrapper of the V1 Punks. I just glued one on the wrong surfboard, so I'm keeping up my notoriousship. I wrote the very first open source implementation for Soulbound tokens, and you can find it on my GitHub.
Amazing. Great having you, Frank. And Nizar?
Yeah, hi, I'm Nizar. I MC, I dance, I sit on stage. You saw me too much, and I'm really sorry about that.
One size fits all.
Yeah, I try to fit the holes, you know. My name is Nizar Benchikroun. I'm the co-founder of Banana Corp with Sander Gansen, who is also the founder of NFT Tallinn, formerly, because now it's Banana Conf. I'm also the co-founder of Banana Corp with Armin, who's here with us. And we do specific events for industries like fashion, supercars, luxury. And we want to democratize the right way by putting on the same table 50 industry leaders and 50 builders. And on top of that, we do also solution providing for some companies, helping them to understand and being educated into Web3.
Great. So starting the whole concept of the Soulbound tokens and how it can relate to our identity, let's start maybe with the good, then we go to the bad, then we go to the ugly. So maybe with you, Bert, like about the use cases, if you get that mic over there. Yeah. Let's start with the good use cases. Why do we need Soulbound tokens?
I feel it's, for me, like we can maybe explain the acronym. Like we didn't explain yet. You said Soulbound token for SBT. So if you just analyze this, the etymology or the semantics of it, like Soulbound token means that's a token that is bound to your soul. And we have another expression saying like you should not sell your soul to the devil. And that's what, from in my vision, that's what happened when you sell your private key, the private key of the wallet owning this Soulbound token.
We already jumped into the ugly.
Yeah, I mean, that's the ugly part, but that's why we need this.
Why we need the Soulbound tokens.
Yeah, why we need this Soulbound token is to show that your activity on chain is a representation, represent your soul also, because you act on chain as you, at least in my opinion, what I try to do is I act on chain as my soul, I would act off chain. So like I invest in project I believe in, or this kind of thing, like the governance that you can do on chain. So we need also this feel for the governance token. Like if you have, for example, at Good Dollar, we have, it's now still a minority, but we have a governance token that are non-transferable. So like you earn this governance token with some activities, and these governance token are locked in your wallet because I don't believe in bribing, and I feel we should not incentivize bribing. So if you have locked or non-transferable governance token, it means that you cannot be bribed, at least on chain, for this governance token. Or you cannot lend them or sold them or buy them.
Understood, understood. And Frank, if you want to add more on the use cases, let's start with the good one.
Well, a good one is identity. And yeah, then I first like to define a little bit what is identity. And yeah, this is a part coming out of my solo talk, basically. And what is my identity? What is my identity in Web3? Well, I just introduced myself as franknft.eth. That is my ENS. But is that my identity? Or is it my PFP? I noticed that NFT Biarritz pulled a PFP of mine off LinkedIn and didn't use the PFP that I actually sent to them. So is that my identity?
Is this a different person?
No, it's also a picture of me that pulled it off my LinkedIn, but it's not a PFP that Neve and me submitted.
You use for the events.
Yeah. So what is this? And then some Web3 people will say, yeah, it's my wallet, it's my MetaMask, that is my identity, because that is where I log on to sites. And in the context of Soulbound tokens, I like to say my identity is the collection of SBTs that I have in my wallet. That is my identity. And that can be governance documents. We are looking with our company, we are looking at driver's license at the moment to make those as SBTs. And that can be, like he explained, governance tokens, things that I got rewarded. And the collection of those, that becomes my identity.
That becomes your identity. If you remember, Frank, we had this conversation maybe over a month ago regarding like different layers of the identity. Like the way that I would like to define it, I would call it like the layer 0 being your biometrics, your identification information. Let's call it your similar to your ID, your date of birth, your name, surname. And then we go to layer 1, which we called it the certifications. You mentioned, for example, the driver's license. It can be your university degree. And then we go to layer 2, that would be your reputation. Similar to stuff that over there Bert was mentioning, here would be, because also in the real life, let's face it, the way that people, like I know, or we in the Banana group or in the NFT space, we know Frank, is not going to be the same way, for example, that your family knows you. Like it's a bit different. There are different relationships and different reputations that you build through those relationships over there. But taking it a little bit outside of the personal identity and the relationship, because also a lot of people over here, they're doing different businesses, and how we can apply these to businesses. I want to come to you, Guillaume. So how do you see using the Soulbound tokens into the relationship of for a company, using that, building relationships with their customers? Examples were over there somehow with the governments and the citizens, but let's go through customers and the brands.
Yeah. I think for the brands, it's it's a huge power to be like a trust issuer of SBT for their clients, so they can really create a relationship with them, and they act as trust for their client, and then they can build on the long-term relationship. And regarding the identity, I think like it really creates this appartenance to the brand. So the brand is not just a way to buy like clothes like I'm wearing, but the brands become something that
part
is part
of your identity.
Exactly. So I think it's that they are trying to do, but actually they were doing it already with loyalty programs, etc. It's now that with SBT they have a new tool to do it, and I think it comes into this blockchain ecosystem. And I think the SBT trend comes at the right time also, because it's with this being non-transferable, we forget about the financiarization of this.
So you see it as a new wave, new trend in the ecosystem for brands to take advantage of, which is not necessarily monetary related on a short run.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's the good time for brands to do that, for like in the context of the market at the moment. Like actually brands, we've seen that working with brands that at the beginning they wanted to do drops to make revenue. Now they are much more looking into making like awareness and engagement. And I think one way to do engagement with their client is SBT. But to be honest, like when we talk about brand, they have no idea what an SBT is. And actually they quite don't care. They just care about like the use case they will implement.
This is where they need us to tell them.
Exactly.
Yeah, an interesting one for these luxury brands that I find is a lot of these luxury brands. I have been investigating a little bit the brands because Armin invited me to another event. Is they have a lot of problem with fakes, and so thanks to a Soulbound token, you can actually create a digital twin. And so you buy this super luxury expensive thing, and you also get that Soulbound digital twin. And when you sell it, you have to inform the producer, because it's only the producer that can then actually transfer also the Soulbound certificate to the new owner.
So we got to a very good point here,
it's transferable?
Which is transferable.
It's not let's say I buy. What's luxury these days, Nizar? I'm not into that world.
Let's say, I don't know, a Chanel bag. A Chanel bag for...
A Chanel bag, okay.
An Hermes bag for...
An Hermes bag, okay. So I buy a beautiful Hermes bag for Neve, not for me.
For you.
For me, okay. Now
I'll take it.
I'm not really into that, but okay. And I also get this Soulbound. Now the Soulbound get issued by Hermes to me, to my wallet. Yes? And you wanted the bag, okay, yeah. As said, that luxury stuff, it's not for me. So I'm going to sell the bag. I'm not going to gift it to you. You have money enough. You're going to buy it.
Double that.
But the certificate is still with me. And it's a Soulbound token. I can't transfer it.
They can burn it?
No, the issuer can actually transfer it. The issuer has the key to the contract, and he can actually unlock that Soulbound token and transfer it to the new owner. So like that, you also have the provenance of the bag actually in the digital twin.
So it's not untransferable. It's untransferable if you
By the
don't have the key. So you have to have the key to be able to transfer it.
Yeah, if you look at an NFT, it is, okay, I mint an NFT and I can transfer it because I own it. You can't transfer my NFT to Armin. A Soulbound token works a little bit different. There it is the issuer that keeps control over the Soulbound token. He can also, let's go back to the driver's license example. In my previous panel, I did it again. I turned 1 cent into a beer. I'm really good at that.
I have the 1 cent, but I don't give the beer.
Yeah, but
you promised me one, huh?
Yeah, we're going to do that in Lugano. Okay, now I lost it. My driver's license, yeah. I've been drinking in conferences. I always drink too much beer. Now, luckily,
just in conferences.
Yeah, just in conferences. Yeah, you already said that my family knows me completely different. I don't drink alcohol at home. That was a lie. But I don't have my car here, so this is a completely fictitious story. But I will go out later on. I will drive my car. The police will stop me. I have to blow the machine. They will say, okay, too much alcohol. Now, my driver's license is a soulbound token, because, of course, they don't want me that I sell my driver's license to me. But they can actually revoke on the spot my driver's license by pulling the soulbound token out of my wallet. And in 2 weeks, let's say that's the standard punishment, in 2 weeks I get it automatically back. And it can be fully automated, because if it would happen now, I still have these like paper driver's license. I have to give it to the policeman. He will actually take it. And then in 2 weeks, I will have a huge problem, because my driver's license will be here at the police station in Biarritz, and I will be back home in Belgium. So,
who knew that here? Who knew that a soulbound token could be changed by the issuer and sent back?
Very few.
Very few. You liar. Ben Dixon is a liar. He didn't.
No, but like the whole concept of being able to technically turn off your the soulbound token from the source, from the issuer, then when it becomes your what you just mentioned earlier, which I really liked, you said like your identity is a collection of soulbound tokens that you have. So now the issuer has so much power to even turn off my identity as a citizen even. So then we become to the bad and the ugly over here, then which where I'm going with that is that if we put too much power in the hand of the issuer, then the question becomes, who should be the issuer for your identity?
Yeah, we had the discussion before, and I think we had it together when we were preparing the Zoom call.
Yeah, I mean, it's also about anybody can become an issuer. So there is not only one issuer. I mean, that's why you say it's a collection of soulbound token. So it's more about like a web of trust, that when the web started, who you should trust on the web. Here it's also which issuer do you want to trust.
Understood. But then it becomes different layers that we were discussing. If I have or don't have a driver's license, I'm still Armin. But if my ID card is being turned off, then the layer 0 being turned off or on, the one that has that power, that issuer has the power to remove.
Now your ID card is issued by your government. And yeah, I shouldn't ask this, but do you trust your government?
No, who does it?
Yeah, but they also issued your ID card, you know, and it's also electronic these days. So
Yeah, but
the problem is there.
The difference becomes. Go ahead, Nizar.
If you do the helicopter, okay, you were saying from the beginning, we were saying your identity. So the identity becomes you become what you have, which I believe is a huge problem. I don't believe that I'm what I have, and I believe what I have today might not be what I want tomorrow. That's one thing that we can discuss. Another thing is that if the issuer is the only one who can manage that token in my wallet, now let's imagine, let's be in an imaginary world. I like to be 5 or 10 years from now, imagine what are the problems or the solutions and come back to build it there. This is what I love to do about my job that I do with you on an everyday basis. So let's imagine a world where, let's say, the way you behave on a porn website is on-chain. They can have like your data and the way you behave. That might not be something you want everyone to know about, right? So let's imagine that's bound to a Soulbound token that you receive on your wallet and that is open.
So someone gets the data about me on something that I don't want to be public and make it a Soulbound token, airdrop it to my wallet.
With the iCloud hack, all the superstars that had their videos, nudes, etc. That happened. It was not iCloud or Apple that sent it, but someone hacked it and then sent those videos online.
And they're the only one who has the power to.
Exactly.
On that one, let me pass it to Guillaume. What do you think on like? Now we're getting to the ugly part. Yeah, now we're getting to the part that. Well, that's a good part. The ugly part is that someone. So what Bert was saying, anybody can be the issuer of a Soulbound token, and they can, in this case, even airdrop it. Like, how many of you guys just received random NFTs on your wallet? Everybody. So now imagine that this is an NFT, it's a Soulbound token that you can't transfer it. Now it's there and everybody can see it.
That is for me, that is the most worst part of Soulbound tokens. Because now, yeah, we all get these spam tokens, you just said it. Now I look at it, I look at the contract. If it's a real, it's always a real contract, but if it's a contract I can read, I can decide what I do, I can just burn it. If I can't read the token because it's a proxy and it's not verified and so on, I just say OpenSea, hide it. But with a Soulbound token, you're pretty fucked because you can't burn it.
I think we are very early with all those Soulbound tokens, and I think that's why we see that. And in my opinion, like even with like brands starting to try to issue SBT, they are just like testing and learning, and we are very in this phase. And in my opinion, we are quite like very far away from like government really using this as a way to issue like driving license and passport, because also like we are all in this idea, I think, of decentralization and having this issuer working in this decentralized way. But today, like to be like a digital consultant before, like there are other technology that are used today to do it, and actually it's working. Like it's centralizing, but it's working. So I think it will take time to change, and we will need to find like the real use case that add value to make this change.
Guillaume, if I may ask you, isn't it what we are supposed to do? Talk about what will happen and try to come back and solve it. Like if we cannot unsee it, you cannot unsee what are the possibilities, and the possibilities for government to issue something digitally in the near future, or let's say 50 years from now or 100 years from now, the fact that you know it put you in the position that you have to build.
Yeah, of course, and that's what we do with brands now, and I think brands are good because they have like the control over their customer base, but to go from brands to government, I think, and because we are in the ugly part, I think like if a brand's fucked up what they do with SBT, it's not that scary if like a government fucked up.
We have a pretty good use case that I told you about. I was head of NFTs and blockchain as a consultant for a big company, and we signed an MOU with United Nations, with UNITA, which is the research and development part of the UN. So they were already talking about what they could do with the metaverse, etc. And I came with the idea of Soulbound tokens because they do they give licenses for courses, and they had a huge problem, which was every year they had hundreds of phone calls saying, I lost my license. Where can I find it? I lost my license. And they were positioned in a way that they were throwing something like 1,000 licenses per year. And my job was to tell them what would be the problem when you will be throwing 10,000 licenses per year or 100,000. Will you answer 100,000 phone calls per day or whatever? So I talked about the Soulbound tokens, and we decided that it was the solution. So we are now trying to build for them a platform where the Soulbound tokens will make sense. So they are already in it. So the problems arising from that needs to be discussed right now.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a solution, but it's not the only solution, and we need to find like with the Soulbound token how it can work without like how it can work like properly. I think.
And not pushing decentralized solution wherever it fits. We don't necessarily like what I'm hearing is that not always a decentralized solution is the right solution. And one thing, because we passed like a very good question over there that I was trying to get an answer. Maybe Bert, I saw you wanted to answer on that. That what are we gonna do on that problem that Frank also pointed out, that the problem of receiving these Soulbound tokens that we don't want to, and we cannot even remove them from our wallet. Bert?
Yeah, smart wallet. Smart contract wallet, we're now with construction. So there is a technical solution. When you don't want to receive SBT, you could have, you can configure, it could be more a provider.
So you put a filter
you could
on what you would receive
That will work perfectly if you use my open source implementation. However, the scammer will not use that one, and he will just send it anyhow, and he will send it through the filter.
So the filter is not going to be on your wallet.
The filter relies on standards. If you transfer an NFT, it is in the protocol. It is mandatory to do certain calls, and the receiver actually has to reply, I want to receive this, else you can't send an NFT. And the Soulbound token is identical. The problem is, if I'm making the contract, the scammer contract, I can just ignore whatever he answers. And if you say, no, I don't want you, fuck you, I'm sending it anyhow.
And then how are we going to answer that question then?
I think the question is actually what we started with when you selling yourself to the devil, which is basically you just gotta throw the wallet away.
And
you
if
have no
my
choice. Or you have to have many wallets. So then it becomes to what is a wallet? Is it bounded to your government identity or what it is?
That is also a problem, I think, because it becomes a personal governance problem then, because I can have 1, 2, 3 wallets. I could say, okay, this wallet, this is only for SBTs that are coming from the government. This wallet is only for art, and this one is for the Hermes bag. But I'm not going to make 100 wallets either. And if one gets compromised, let's say somebody finds out what is my wallet address for my government SBTs. And it's not that hard. There are tools here on the floor to discover the bubble sting, to find wallets. Somebody finds out, okay, that's his government wallet, and I'm going to put his porn history next to his identity card. That means I will have to go to the government and say, okay, you have to use move my ID, move my driver's license, and whatever I'm getting. Yeah. Yes. Yes, that is the main problem, and I don't have a solution for it. I see the problem, I don't have a solution for it at the moment, and technology may be bringing one in a short future, because we're all experimenting now with this technology, and the scammers will definitely come. Personally, I'm pretty surprised that they're not there yet, but they will definitely come with these tokens, and...
There is a scammer here, welcome!
But it's also about being permissionless. I mean, if we, as a core value, I feel we are not much anymore into the core value of blockchain or about Web3, but one of the core value I see still in blockchain is permissionless. And so if you want to stay permissionless, it means that you authorize both the good and the bad and even the ugly. But then, technically, if you want to avoid this ugly, what you consider from your point of view ugly and bad, which may not be what others would consider as ugly or bad.
Which culturally can also be very different.
Yeah, so it's about, I mean, like Ethereum or this blockchain are worldwide blockchain. It's borderless blockchain, even if legally there is border, like you are still accountable for your identity in your country where your identity was created, or where you were born, or where your passport is, and this kind of thing. But technically, an Ethereum address, it's not bordered. You cannot. It's not like the U.S. government or all these sects that say, the majority. We believe the majority of Ethereum nodes are grounded in U.S., so that Ethereum is American-based.
Understood. And going back to the issuer part, especially for the layer 0, when we're talking about your identification, because we talked about it, we know in the physical world, the identification, the ID is being issued by the government. And we were discussing that earlier, that with the new technologies, you also need the authority that the government has. But then you need also the infrastructure and the technology that most of the time the governments don't have it. Then there are certain other players coming to place that they can be there. And as you perfectly mentioned, Frank, the trust in governments, they're not there anymore. So as much as I'm trying to figure out who can be, like possibly be able to be in the position of the issuer of your identification, I get into maximum four options. Governments, I get into the big tech, for example, Apple, because they have the infrastructure and they're in everybody's pocket, Apple, Samsung, for example. Then we get into the banks, because they already also control your money and they already did the KYC over there. And the last one, before, which one? But the last one becomes the telco, because they don't control your money, but they're also doing the KYC to issue a SIM card. So let me go through over here with Guillaume, and then I get over there.
Yeah, I think in my vision, like if we want to go, like as Nizar was saying, like in 30 years or in a lot of years, or maybe faster, I would say like none of those are like good solutions to be issuer.
I agree with you, none of them, but I don't see any other possible player.
And in the vision, like in the ideal vision, I don't know how it could work, but the same way like Bitcoin created like the decentralized money, there could be a way to create like the real decentralized identity, and the trust would come from like creating a network. And like the network will be the issuer. Exactly.
And then, Frank, you wanted to add something, I cut you.
No. I just wanted to give an example. And yeah, it's very... Any Belgians in the room? No.
Belgians in the room?
No. Okay, so I have to fully explain it, but yeah, what's my point anyhow? In Belgium, identity is basically taken over no longer by the government, but by a relatively small company that works together with the banks. So if I have, for instance, if I want to register to a new bank, I'm already registered with that company, I want to register with a new bank, I don't have to go physically to that bank to give my ID card, and so on and so on. I can use this system that is called It's Me, and it's the other banks where I am already a member that basically confirm my identity. It has nothing to do with blockchain. It's built
similar to the e-residency of Estonia.
No, I don't have that yet. Working on it. And if I want to do my taxes, which I have to do. Unfortunately, I have to log on to government systems. And guess what?
Using
It's Me. So my identity is basically provided by the banks to the government.
But you should not trust something from Belgium.
Maybe that is the thing, but yeah.
Unless it's a beer or fries, that you can trust them.
There you go.
Yeah, but the banks actually behaves like blocks in blockchain. If you look at it this way, if you have like 5 banks that has to, or 5 nodes exactly, that has 5 nodes that have to validate anything that you do, which is your favorite brand, Nike, a bank, and another thing to validate it's really you, then we are in a decentralized market already, just physically.
Absolutely. And then we're getting very close to the end of this. I think another open question that we can have would be, apart from the question of who can be the issuer, then it becomes like the way I see it is that apart from who can be the issuer, the more important question becomes, it's important who is going to be the identifier when you're trying to do that. And like the concept of the proof of life, so you show that is you that doing that. Any question from the audience for the last, please, just that one very quick one.
Yeah, I see that you are quite afraid of receiving nudes on your wallet. Yeah.
Okay,
maybe,
you're gonna send
maybe you're
something?
not afraid. Okay, so just technically speaking, you never receive any NFT on your wallet, just to know, okay?
Of course.
It's just a reference that you have on smart contract linking to your address, okay? So most of the wallet, what they do, they auto-register through an annexer all the addresses on this smart contract and they display on your wallet.
Yeah, but that's now. I wasn't talking about now. Our
Okay.
job is to live 20 years from now. So we need to know that 20 years from
Okay,
now,
so I tell
your
you
behavior could
what
be
you can
turned
do
into an
today
NFT.
to hide these nudes. Oh, okay. Or you use a wallet that register all the smart contract listing your address and you see this nude, or you just blacklist the smart contracts by default, or just you whitelist the smart contract you want to see, and that's all.
But that's what Frank was saying. You could do that, but a scammer wouldn't go this way, and he would send it anyway, saying the F word.
No,
that
if
he
you
used.
don't whitelist the smart contracts, you will never receive it.
Yeah.
Frank, back me up on this. Dad,
Well,
please?
okay, we have to go technically a little bit in what is actually a wallet then. And a wallet, if I look at a person's wallet, it is a MetaMask. Well, let's take a MetaMask. It is just a device, a piece of software that holds your private key. There are no NFTs in there. You say, oh, you all say this. Oh, I have so many NFTs in my wallet. There are no NFTs in your wallet. Only thing that's in your wallet is your private key.
Private key.
Yeah. What is an NFT that comes to your wallet? That is a piece of software that at the moment of mint makes a mapping that says NFT number 300 was sent to this address, and it emits an event on the blockchain. And that's it. It's not more than that. And that is very hard to block. You know, these...
Considering that
The blockchain should block it then, but yeah.
we don't have any more time and we don't want to hold the next panel, I know, Ben, you had a question. We're going to go through it after the panel over a beer. Amazing. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you so much, guys.
Frank.
Thanks a lot.
Guillaume, Bert, Nizar. Cheers.